Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 47 of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. Thank you guys so much for coming on this wonderful Monday to check out another episode. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. You are amazing. Before we get into sponsors tonight, I want to let you guys know that we're doing something new for all the wonderful people who financially support this show, Patreon, Subscribestar, and the members of the YouTube channel. Right after this show ends at 8:30 or a little bit after, depending on how long the episode goes, there's another link for the members of the YouTube to go and check out what I'm calling CouchStreams After Hours. It's going to be some exclusive content for all you wonderful people who have donated some money to the channel. So you can join this channel as a member underneath any of the videos by hitting the join link. Then you can watch the After Hours live. If you become a patron, you get a bunch of other swag, but you also will get these videos uploaded by tomorrow evening at the very latest. So new stuff for you guys. I'm really excited. I hope that you will take advantage of that and help support Break the Cycle and my giant ass family of like 37 people. I can't tell you how much it has meant to us for you guys to show us that kind of support. Let's start off with some sponsors. Of course, we have Lorenzotti.coffee for all your delicious Italian coffee needs delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. And TopLobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend, my partner on Break the Cycle. All your great graphic design stuff. Go check his gear out, like this, the Tree of Liberty Must Be Watered shirt that I'm wearing tonight. You can use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. You can also become a patron or a Subscribestar, and if you're in the Discord server, which is one of the perks of becoming a supporting member of the show, you can get Top Lobster gear much earlier than it goes to the general public, and you get it at a 30% discount. We're talking a deep discount. Super cheap t-shirts and hats and hoodies and all that great stuff. And, of course, executive producers of the show, AnthemPlanning.com for all your emergency crisis and planning needs. Check them out, see what they can do for your business or your home life. They're amazing people doing amazing work, and the government sucks at their job, so go use them instead. Tonight we got a great guest for you guys. I'm super excited. He's been becoming a really good friend of mine over the last several months. He's a devout member of the Tower Gang, one of the OGs. He is the host of No Way Jose. He is Jose Galison. How you doing today, sir?
Doing all right, man. Fucking had a long weekend. I was just telling you before, I had a wedding and shit this weekend, so it's fun. Get to smoke weed with a lot of cool people and do coke with some cooler people. So, you know, fun times. All legal reasons, all a joke, but it's a great time. I want to holler out to Josh's mom real quick. You know, it's great having you here in the live chat. What's up?
She's in the chat for every show, man. You guys that don't watch this show live are really missing out. My mother literally is in every single live chat. She's an amazing woman. We also already got a super chat, Rogue Liberty Pod, which if you guys aren't checking that out, if you're a fan of the British voice, check out Rogue Liberty Pod. He's really awesome. But he says Jose is a great guest for Pride Day. I agree. And he's already showing off his biceps. You guys listening to this on the podcast are missing out on some serious biceps here.
This is just I don't know what to do with my hands thing. There's these little podcasting isms I've learned.
I'm starting. We're just gonna do the whole show like this from now on. Like, all right, buddy. It feels good. It's better on the back, Better on the back. Let's see, dude. Let's see. Tell us about No Way Jose, man. What made you start an awesome show like that?
No Way Jose. I first started. Funny thing, Rogue Liberty was actually someone I set on an adventure with to do these Facebook groups concept we were working on way back in the day called the Liberty Movement, and this kind of spawned out of that. This was supposed to be an outlet for it because I used to have the Liberty Movement YouTube channel as well, and it was like a rotating cast of shows, and that just got too much to handle at some point, so I ended up dropping it. But I had done my own show to kind of support the concept, and it kind of just born out of that. The idea initially of the Facebook groups and of the show was to be like more culturally oriented and like less political, which for me being like an agorist, that's perfect. Like, so it was easy. It wasn't supposed to be like anti-political, but it was like non-political. So I focused a lot on like stuff like, I don't know, comics, shit like that. And then after a while I get like, I guess you can only pigeonhole yourself so much. And then I started expanding and just doing everything. And now I just do whatever the hell I want to do, talk to people that I find interesting, and yeah, I don't know, it's fun times.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it. You had me on your show not too long ago. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun. It's something that I've been wanting to do is kind of nerd out with you and talk about comics and shit, because I'm a nerd too. I know I call a lot of people online nerds, but I'm like a cool nerd. I'm not like one of the gay nerds. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you are a comic book fanatic, and that's probably what we're going to be chatting about in the exclusive after hours stream after this. Is we're going to talk about nerd shit. Me and Jose. It's going to be a good time. So you mentioned that you're an agorist, dude. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing you've probably read Seek Third, right? I mean, you're probably pretty well read up on agorism. What does it mean to you to be an agorist for the people that don't understand?
Shit, that's a lot. How would I give a quick little? I mean, agorism is they kind of go into the concept of goes in like white markets, black markets, red markets, gray markets, and the whole idea is ideally the concept of agorism, to put simply, is to the best of your extent to try to push to be as far in the gray or the black as you can without getting in trouble. And a lot of people be like always trying to make the straw man of like, oh, you're gonna go out, live out the woods all by yourself, and it's like, if anything, actually agorism kind of really, like, for example, Freedom Cells of John Bush, it very much like his whole idea is like having like little groups that are kind of like a network of people. So, but the idea being that like to kind of like work outside the system as much as you can to kind of, I don't know, like taxes specifically, you know, like why would you claim taxes if you don't need to? Like, you know, maybe get a cash business, maybe do this. Just little tricks here and there you can to move away from the system the best you can. It's kind of like living anarchy if you're an anarchist, is the kind of the way I put it. So, you know, yeah.
Sure, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of agorism myself too. We've had this conversation before as far as agorism goes. I think it's great. Unfortunately, I can't agorism my way out of tax evasion here. Like I'll get screwed because I got 7 kids. I got all this shit I got to do. But I do support agorism, and I think it is one of the biggest tools to rolling back the size and scope of intrusive government. You know, for me, it's the political aspect, obviously, that I work in, and a lot of you guys hate. I also believe it's agorism. I think it's people just opting out as much as possible, and then Bitcoin or some kind of crypto, but Bitcoin's the big one, obviously. I think that those are 3 like equal parts of pushing back on the state. You know what I mean? And so recently there was a debate, man. You know what I mean? This it wasn't really a debate. It was a discussion with the artist formerly known as Vin Armani. I don't know what the fuck he's going by now, Cyprian or some weird shit. And King Pilled, who's really awesome. And this was on Liberty Lockpod, who, you know, Clint does work with the Libertarian Party now, and he used to be like anti-political, but now he's working with the Libertarian Party. And there was a lot of things said in that show, man. I mean, did you get to watch the whole thing?
I've watched it like probably 1.5 or 3/4 times because I kind of thought we'd probably talk about it a little bit. But man, there's so much in there. And I want to preface this with anything I say in relation to this. Every one of the people involved in this, like, you know, Clint was in there, fucking Maddie, Cyprian, and then even Dave, who they're being referencing a lot in the episode. Like, they're all way smarter than me. So don't take anything I say here as me. Like I posted on Twitter the other day, I'm just a retard who reads smart books and tries to relay it to other retards. That's all I am. Like, so these are, I'm speaking about my betters when I'm talking here. But there are some things. Like one thing I was noticing a lot too when I was watching it is I used to play soccer and I was defense.
I'm shocked that you play soccer. Jose.
Are you?
I'm shocked.
But one thing that I was always defense, and the thing you always the number one goal thing of defense is watch the ball. Like, you don't watch the people's legs. And that's the thing, like Vin and Maddie both have a way of talking about them where they are both really smart fucking dudes, like really smart. And I feel like a lot of people, and I'm not saying that they're any way manipulating things, but I think sometimes you just need to focus on what are they saying? Because sometimes you can get lost in the mumbo jumbo and be like, wow, this is really deep. And you're like, well, not really. They just said this in a very elaborate way, and it's just that. Like, it's kind of the focus on the ball thing. That was one thing I got out of a lot of it. It's not at all. They actually both had a lot of great points. There's so much. If anything, I don't know if there's like things you want to point to, but I mean, I have my disagreements with basically everyone involved. But it was a very good discussion, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing with Maddie, I would love to have a conversation with him sometime because I actually get the vibe that like me and him are very, very similar in conclusions we've come to, and like the way things should be. I mean, I'm not even the thing is too. I don't even really know what the hell either of these guys really are pushing for at the end of this 2 hours. To be honest with you, I don't know if you did.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, I never really know what the fuck Vin Armani's talking about. First of all, I've watched Vin on so much shit. I mean, so many things, and I Top Loft has told me several times. He's all, dude, if you ever have him on your show, I'm drawing him fat. First of all, and I'm like, I'm not going to have him on my show because we're just going to argue. That's all that's going to happen. It's going to be really shitty. Then he's going to go around and talk a bunch of shit about me because I work in the Libertarian Party. But a lot of people, they kind of, they're like, oh, Vin's talking all this shit about people who are trying to stay in the United States and work to change the system. But he's like ran away, right? Like he ran away to fuck, I don't know, Bora Bora or some dumb shit. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but and I really don't know what he's talking about half the time. He's like, I get the crypto aspect of it, right? Like, yeah, buy crypto, buy Bitcoin, like, start using currency that circumvents the federal government. You should. We all should. But then there's that whole aspect of, well, you're doing it wrong and I'm doing it right, but I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing it. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And then the really shitty part about this was his argument with Dave, right, about Ron Paul and how, and I someone else was arguing this with somebody else too. It's become this big issue now. There's like a fracturing going on right now because of a couple of agorists who hate anybody that works with inside politics, coming at Dave, calling Dave Smith, a grifter, basically, is what I'm hearing. I mean, where do you fall on this stuff, dude? Like, because you're an agorist, but you hang out with a lot of us who do work with the party. You hang out with a lot of us that are actually just ANCAPs who don't work with the party. You also hang out with like some of the greatest shit posters in the world. I mean, the Tower Gang is the greatest shit posting syndicate of all time. I mean, where are you at, man? Where are you at with all this shit? Because it's true. It's like, what the fuck? What are you guys even talking about? What are you telling us to do?
Well, it depends. Everyone has their different style, and it's like agorism's not really a monolith. Like, for example, one key differentiation between me and a lot of, or maybe not even key. Like, I'm not against political involvement on principle. Like, I could imagine a hypothetical in which I would vote or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just that I think usually usually political involvement most of the time does not work to your advantage. But I can imagine scenarios in which, like, sure, I'll go run to the ballot box. Like, I'm not like on some moral principle. I just think generally speaking, it doesn't work out. But sure, because I mean, at its base, voting is just some fucking coercive fucking entity giving you a choice. True. So like, if some dude had a gun to some stranger and a gun to my wife's head as well and told me to make a choice, I'm gonna say my wife in a heartbeat. And like, I don't even think that's immoral. Like, and so like, at its root in principle, it's kind of similar to what voting is. Obviously, you can change out what the options are or whatever, but it's a coercive entity, sort of, kind of forcing you into a choice to some extent. I mean, you have the choice not to as well, but so it all depends on what they're getting you to do. So I don't take like any moral. I just think generally it doesn't. But I don't know. I forgot the point I was getting at. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many people. I think too. Like I actually am of the opinion that I don't think this political shit is going to work out like you guys think. Like, a way I usually put it is I think you guys are either spinning your wheels or possibly even moving things backwards. But I'm a fucking retard. I don't know. Like, this is just what I've come to. I could be wrong. I'll probably change my mind a year from now. I always try to approach everything with the being humble of like, I could be wrong because I'm an idiot. True. You know?
You've been pretty consistent in the agorist stuff for a while, though, because even long before I got kicked off of Facebook for, I don't know, saying the same shit that the news is saying now, you were on there talking about the same shit. I mean, it's not like you just became an agorist last year or this week or 2 weeks ago. I mean, you've been talking about this shit for a while. So it's not like you're not that dumb, man. I mean, I get.
I don't know. I guess because my point I was getting at too with the moral thing is that this comes from a strategic perspective for me. I think strategically I can understand the one thing I will give, like, political involvement the way I see it. I could see it being beneficial in a short-term type thing. Like, maybe, and because that's where a lot of people will go into, like, how this whole thing's collapsing and blah, blah, blah. But Maddie actually brought up a really good point in the show that, like, I guess you said Jason Stapleton says a lot, is that, like, when you're planning on the end of the world, it's kind of foolhardy. Like, you still gonna kind of look for the long game. And I feel like, and also a lot of times it's just not going to work out like you think anyways if you plan on using it for short term. So I don't know, but I'm looking from a strategic perspective. So I don't think it's a hard science. So I have my reasons why I think it won't work. But like at the end of the day, I'm just pulling shit out of my ass like most people are anyways.
Sure.
So it's not like something I'm fiercely combative about. I also think too, being a dickhead about this shit is no way to convince people. So like while I don't agree that like political involvement works out in the long run, I'm also not going to be an annoying cunt about it. Oh, I don't know if I can say that word. My bad.
Sure you can. I think you can. Oh, who knows?
Sorry, I can't help myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm not being annoying about it's not helpful. I don't think it is, and it's kind of like I'm of the opinion that tactics are not something we should really get divisive about. I do think we should be able to grow up and have big boy talks about them like we're doing right now.
Sure.
But I do get annoyed with a lot of people on both sides that get kind of shitty when we start talking about tactics, because it's like, dude, we like most likely probably agree on what we want. It's just how are we going to get there? Like, I mean, there's no reason to be like shitty to each other in the meantime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's I could be wrong. I'll probably change my mind eventually. The funny thing is too, like I actually had a conversation with Aaron from Timeline Earth a while ago, and we kind of went over that. And if anyone knows Aaron's perspective, I'm actually very much in line in a lot of ways with Aaron's perspective. I just don't think using the LP as a vehicle for this shit is actually going to work. I just think that I don't know. I will give Dave credit though. Like at PorkFest, I did see him starting to embrace the shit posty ways a little bit more, because I'm very much of the opinion that, I mean, it would be great if every state account was shit posting, to be honest with you. Just like raging shit posts. Like I want friggin' LPKY to be calling Lindsey Graham a homo. Like I don't care. Like, and if in any way, that's kind of like almost in a weird way what Hoppe was saying when it was like to make the state a joke, like, and not in that annoying vermin supreme way that's just like, like this, like where it's a joke, but the joke is how shitty the state is.
Sure. And
not just some stupid, hey, look, haha, I'm wearing a boot. Like,
what's your, so the counter argument during this, I mean, especially from Dave, is Ron Paul, right? Ron Paul, you'd be hard pressed to find someone in your generation. You're a little bit younger than me, right? You're in your 20s still, right?
I'm 30. Yeah.
Are you 30?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you're fucking old. I'm almost 40, but you even in our 10-year gap, right? You'd be hard pressed to find people in any age between you and I that weren't woken up to the harms of the political system, the harms of these never-ending wars, the harms of the Federal Reserve, that wasn't woken up by Ron Paul. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find people like that. I mean, they exist, but there's like one person that didn't get woken up by Ron Paul to every 30 that have, right? And so I mean, does that change your opinion on it at all? I mean, you get somebody in Congress who can't get anything, obviously can't get anything done, because like he said in his retirement speech, Congress is a bunch of fucking psychopaths, and he couldn't do much, but he got to grandstand. He got to sit there in front of Congress and call them all psychopaths. He got to wake up people all over the country to the ills of the central planning in the state. I mean, do you see any utility in that whatsoever?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely see utility in it. I mean, I think one of the beautiful things about agorism, and at least one thing I've learned from when I read Konkin, is he very much doesn't look. I feel like libertarians in general have this issue of falling into a binary, and we're so hard thinkers of just it's either does it break the NAP or does it not? Like, is it private business? Is it not? And it's and I feel like Konkin does a very good job of it's very evident with gray markets. He kind of applies the same concepts to corporations and stuff like that, and how they're they aren't necessarily a government company, or government owned, but they're not private either. Like, things aren't all black and white, and the same thing applies for political involvement. It doesn't mean that there aren't better political stuff, and I would just ideally prefer people to take the agorist route, or at the very least prioritize agorist route, because whatever, you can do both. I mean, maybe we can argue about whether you should or shouldn't, but at the very least, I would think because I've been thinking about this a little bit lately, political involvement is, in a sense, it's almost kind of the same as a walkathon, or some shit where you're raising awareness, in which, I mean, okay, cool. You can make an argument whether that's good or not. I mean, obviously there are arguments about you're using the vessel of a political establishment to raise awareness. That could have issues. But in the day, like, you need to be actually doing it, providing proof of concept, like something. Like, one thing I've been hearing a lot lately is people saying that, like, well, people don't want libertarianism. It's like, well, they haven't seen it other than you fucking assholes just spouting theory. Like, go fucking do it.
Sure.
Create something. Be like, here's this thing that is, more efficient because it is, I don't know, it's more in line with our philosophy or whatever, like kind of like Uber or Lyft is the common example people use, or Bitcoin, like,
Sure.
And those are all very much along those lines. It's kind of, you have to create the other system for people to move to. So if you're going to be politically involved, I feel like at the very least you should be prioritizing that. Like, you should be showing people, like, this is why this is better.
Sure.
Like, yeah. And one common thing, and that's I'm an idiot, so I don't know. Take this with this what you want. But one thing, I look at the people like the Ron Pauls and stuff. I kind of see them as like almost like, in my eyes, kind of like how when you have like people who are like gamblers and they have a gambling addiction. Like the Ron Pauls are like that one time when you hit like a badass jackpot, and then you're like, yo, like, holy crap, like, look at this sweet ass jackpot I got. And then like 5 years down the line, people are like, why are you doing this? You're going broke. You're on your second mortgage. You're like, well, I had that jackpot 5 years ago.
Sure.
It's like, and it's not to say that jackpot wasn't awesome. It was friggin' awesome.
If Eric Brakey is watching, I still fully believe that Eric Brakey could be the next Ron Paul if he would do it. If he would do it. For sure.
He's kind of a minor jackpot at this point in time. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we go with big jackpot. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe this is the way to go.
But how about this? Dave Smith gets the nomination in 2024 and becomes our presidential candidate. I mean, are you voting for him?
No,
not at all.
Not. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like I say that now, things might change. There's a long time between then and there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, even if I was to buy into that like political involvement paradigm, I still probably wouldn't vote just because it's like, I mean, I might advocate for others to vote, but I mean, it's kind of like, what the hell is one vote?
It makes a difference, man. Every vote counts, Get out and vote. I don't think for Dave it's about the votes, anyways. You know what I mean? I think for Dave running for president, it would be about the 50-state media tour and getting in front of people and changing hearts and minds to become more libertarian, because we're not going to win the presidency in 2024. I mean, any libertarian that's under that impression is lying to themselves. They're being fucking idiots. I mean, there's just no doubt about that.
That's one fair point that both Maddie and Vin brought up in that, though, is that I do, and I've noticed as well. I mean, I can't point to a specific example, but I'm sure people know there have been times where he kind of muddies the message a little bit. I think if it's messaging and only messaging, it needs to be super clear. There's no way in hell I'm getting any sort of anything like, cool, if I get more, whatever percentages, that's great, but that's not at all what I'm concerned about. Like, I just feel like it needs to be one or the other, because like, I don't know. I feel like it muddies the messaging, and that was one good thing. One thing they brought up that I thought was a good point, but sure. I don't know. Yeah.
Sure.
So
we got
whatever.
We got some new super chats. I want to holler out Bank Switch Tickler. This is a very important topic, and we should actually talk about this a little bit. He says it's been a week since John Hurley was murdered by Arvada, Colorado Police Department. For you guys that aren't aware, John Hurley was an anarchist activist, worked with some really great people, and he was a good guy with a gun. At somebody who was trying to perpetrate a mass shooting, he took out the mass shooter, went over to the mass shooter after he took him down, went to clear the shooter's gun, so he picked up his rifle, and the cops came and laid him out and killed the good guy with the gun when they showed up. So good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun. Bad guys with guns show up and shut down the good guy with a gun. Do you know anything about this? Have you been following that?
I haven't looked. I mean, I've seen bits here and there. I mean, I don't really have enough to have too strong of an opinion, other than like, I don't know, police kind of suck. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. It was pretty terrible. It's a pretty terrible thing, man. To think about. You just saved the day. You just kept a bunch of people from being murdered, and then the cops showed up and murdered you. Like, that sucks, man. I can't fathom that. And this isn't the first time somebody that wasn't doing anything wrong has been shot by the cops, but this is one of the first times you've ever heard of a hero getting gunned down by the police right after being heroic. So that's really a bummer. You guys should all check out that case and read more about it. I'll probably talk more about it this week after I read a lot more.
The biggest takeaway I got, from the little bit I paid attention, was just how disgusting some police apologists are, because I did see a lot of people going after him, like posthumously, obviously,
Yeah,
and they were digging up his past about him being anti-cop and stuff. And it's like, none of it was like, nothing I saw was any sort of argument about whether or not like the cop was in the right or not. All that I saw like from the other side was mudslinging towards his past. So it's like, he could be, I don't give a damn if he like was a grand wizard of the KKK. Like, we're evaluating this specific situation and he saved some lives. Like, if you're going to dispute that, sure. But yeah, I know it was just disgusting on its face. Like the way a lot of people were treating him on the other side.
Sure. I want to say, shout out to Rogue Liberty Pod for becoming a member of the YouTube channel. I appreciate you, sir. You are amazing. Everyone go check out his podcast too. But he said, if more agorists were like Jose, they'd be more bearable. I agree, Jose. I do agree. I think, I've had conversations with some great anarchists or agorists, and then I've had some with some anarchists who are really terrible too, but are nice people. If you guys weren't watching a couple months ago, I had a debate with Larkin Rose, who is, I think, probably more agorist than just ANCAP. He's kind of held as this ANCAP philosopher, but really he's like so opt out that you can't not call him an agorist, I think. I mean,
you won that.
Yeah, I think I won the debate. I do. I really do. I think the people watching understood that I won the debate, and I made a really good case for why I work in the Libertarian Party, why I think that politics can be an important and useful tool. But I'm also not one of the people who's like, oh, if you don't work in the system, then you shouldn't be complaining and fuck, like I'm not that guy. I agree heavily with the agorist theory. I agree heavily with people like Larkin Rose and you and my friend Patrick Smith, who hosted that debate. Who I've had on the show as well from Disenthrall Media and Anarcho-Polko and all that stuff. But I agree. Like, I fully agree. But anyways, let's see. Outlaw Barber, thanks for the shout out. He said, I convert peeps to anarchism one haircut at a time. Top Lobster says, if Jose says he's an agorist one more time, I'm going to commit seppuku.
Hey, this was Josh. He brought me on and brought up the agorism.
It's true. I wanted to see. Okay, let's get back into shit posting. Okay, because I want to talk more about shit posting and its importance in today's culture. I mean, it really is important. But
it's the way.
Claire Foster, who we all know very well on Twitter, asks, "What the fuck is Tower Gang?"
I know who you are, Claire.
Yeah, we all do. But what is Tower Gang, man?
I mean, Tower Gang now in its current state is people that occasionally have towers every once in a great while, but mostly we just kind of a group of people who like to shitpost, a mob of anarchists, if you will. I don't know. We used to be really big into towers, and I don't know. I think now there's been a lull. I think we were overproducing for a while, and now we're dialing it back. I think we just need to focus more on quality. That's my opinion. We got like way overdoing it for a while there. But yeah, just a group of guys that like to fucking drop towers on blue checks, which you're not in the know, that just is like, I don't know, write out enemy of the people one letter at a time and get to scare journos and make fun of people and say stuff you usually wouldn't be able to say if it wasn't in that case. Because I mean, you're only putting an N and the next guy did an I,
Right. Jesus, come on, buddy. What do you think is the relevance of shitposting these days? I mean, do you think it's an important aspect of actually fighting the state?
I actually weirdly think it's a beautiful sign of what we should be shooting for right now, in a sense, in a certain way. I think shitposting is an amazing way of identifying people's values. Like, if I put some horrible, like, maybe not horrible, if I throw out some shit and someone gets like really offended by it immediately, like, it kind of is a good way of discerning who roughly is on my side and who isn't. And that's obviously, it's not perfect. There are people who are going to get offended by certain shit, but it's a good way of dealing with that, in my opinion. And I think right now, in a sense, we should be widening the divide between us liberty folks and the authoritarians, because I think that is going to be our saving grace in the decades to come. Is if we can further the divide, make more of a differentiation between us and them, because it's kind of like, if we don't differentiate ourselves, then we're not, we're just going to be against the wall kind of deal. Like, I mean, I do think driving that divide, I mean, obviously I'm a big agorist, so I think we should be creating separate systems. And part of that is creating that divide of like, you Team Liberty or are you not? And then we start showing like, we're going to do this shit in action. And if you want to come along with us, you can. If not, fuck off. I don't care. Like, if you want to go live over an authoritarian land, go do that. Like that's kind of my vision for the future. And I think shitpost plays kind of a weird part in that because it kind of like is a good way of wedging that divide, like which side you on, which side you aren't. Yeah. So
James Gentleman said, "Show us how jacked you are, Jose."
I'm really pretty fat, actually.
Get up and do a twirl, bro. Get up and do a twirl.
Oh my!
Let everybody see this. What a beefcake! My God, absolute beefcake.
This is weird, James.
Now turn around and look at the camera and do tiger faces. What was I gonna say? I was gonna bring something up good and I totally forgot what it was. Man. Anyways. back.
Rogue's trying to do a tower.
Oh, don't do it, Rogue. I have to moderate that.
I saw the first letter. That's not a good sign.
I have to moderate it, bud. Don't make me moderate my channel, okay? Please. We're monetized here. And you have a badge. Rogue, you gotta set the precedent here, bud. You guys set the precedent. See, all you people that listen to the podcast, you're missing out on the good stuff, man. You're really missing out. James says, "Woo, daddy as fuck, bud." Good job. We do have dad bots. Dad bots for sure.
Yeah, I go for bulky dad bod. That's my style. I always tell my wife I stay like 3 months out from being able to pull some good trim in case she ever leaves me. I clean up my diet. I'm ready to go.
Nice. I have completely given up. I found the best trim I'm ever gonna have, so I'm happy. You know what I mean? So can we talk about your prior service? Are we allowed to do that now?
Sure. Yeah, I'm currently on terminal leave, which for people not in the know, that means it's my like last vacation days or whatever. So I basically already did what's called a final out. I gave him my little ID card and I'm out. So I've been military for the past 11 years. No, I didn't kill anyone. I was an aircraft mechanic. That's what I did. It is what it is. I fix planes. And a lot of people think, I guess I'll bring this up now. A lot of people, I feel like, get the implication that me doing this or getting out of the military is in some way, and don't get me wrong, it kind of is. It has to do with my ideology. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty selfish. I see the signs right now because I've been ANCAP for a good minute. Been like of this persuasion probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, and I got out because for selfish reasons. Like I actually think that is not the place you want to be, even financially. I think the way things are going, you do not want to be dependent on the government in any way, shape, or form. If you got to be able to reduce it to the most amount possible. So, because I think shit's gonna get weird for the government, and if you're working for the government, it's gonna be a rough time for you there.
Sure. Yeah, and I was gonna talk to you and ask you about the ideology thing, and if that had anything to do with it. Of course, the military is what created me as a libertarian and the image of a libertarian. The anti-war sentiment came from me going overseas and dealing with that shit. I mean, did your service have anything to do with turning you into what you are today?
I don't know.
And I don't mean the shit posting retard. I mean the ideological.
No, yes and no. I feel like I don't know how much of it really was influenced by being in or not. I mean, I think but once me being in, once I started going down the philosophy, a lot of stuff really started to ring true of like, holy shit, like you really start seeing some of the bureaucracy and stuff, and like they kind of see how like the government works and how it's not efficient, especially against the upper levels. I think like because I've been in for 11 years, so. Like I'm still technically an E6 right now, so I was getting a little bit up there. So like I was starting to get in that like mid-level to upper-ish level management area, and that's where you're like, oh, this is where all this silly political shit is happening at. Like when you're at the like first few years, you can kind of be like, oh, I'm just doing my job and I'm just a little worker bee, and you're like, oh, this is all good. When you really start seeing the flaws in the government, once you start doing this shit for a while, you're like, oh my God, it's awful.
No, I think that was probably one of the first things I realized is I was talking to one of the admin guys, and we were talking about pins, like just ink pens, writing pens. And it was like the government is paying $11 per Bic pen or something like that. And I'm going, man, these government contracts are fucking crazy, right? Like this is insane. We're literally just throwing money, taxpayer money away to bolster businesses through the government, through government contracts. And I was just like, Well, that's insane. We're talking paying, $4,000 per M16. That's crazy. That's we're out here getting the same platform basically for $1,200, right? And so that's that was like one of my first wake up calls. Was like, wow, that seems really bad because that's taxpayer money. I mean, we work for that money and then give it to the government, and then the government is using it irresponsibly to bolster other businesses, and it's just a really, really wild thing. Let's see. We got another super chat from our good friend at the Naturalist Capitalist, Reed Coverdale. Does Jose consider himself to be based and gay or fake and awesome? And tell him his mic is unplugged.
What? Is he fucking with me? Is my mic unplugged?
No,
Tell me if
he's messing with you. But when you do move away from your mic, I don't know if you can point the top of your mic more at your face, but when you do move away from your mic, like to the side, you're like, I can't hear you anymore, and then you come back. So
no, I'm not good at this. Don't expect professionalism when you come to my show.
So
yeah,
based and gay or fake and awesome?
I guess I'd go with based and gay there, but I'm a little bit of all four in some ways,
We're all a little fake sometimes, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is all fake. How do we know what is real? Let's get into. All right.
So last year and prior to that, you were trying to start a movement. You had this liberty movement thing going on. What happened to that, man? What was going on with that?
I mean, that was Rogue, in the chat. He was the one who actually started up, and then he got me and a couple other guys to help out. And the idea was to be, I actually think it was a really good idea. I just think Facebook kind of fucked it up because it was right around the time Facebook got really fucking wonky. Started blocking people like crazy, made it a nightmare to run groups. But the idea was to have like a cultural, non-political area for us folks. Because our thing was like, we felt like the biggest thing that divided us liberty folks was the political stuff. Because you'll have people who advocate for voting for Democrats, voting for libertarian, not voting for all, or anyone at all. Like, look at me. You got like Republicans, people would vote for Republican, but all consider themselves under this liberty banner. And so our thing was like, well, why don't we just have a spot where we can just like not worry about that, and that was kind of the point. And it did really well. It just kind of, Facebook became an insufferable platform after a while. And it just kind of died out. I mean, we ended up having like a whole bunch of different chapters from different states, like kind of broke off. It was pretty cool. They had multiple meetings. I've still like met up. So I think there was still a lot of cool stuff that came out of it. And I actually would still advocate people, if you want to go start using it, there's still tons of people on there. It's just, I think a lot of the energy got sucked out of Facebook because Facebook kind of shot itself in the foot with all the craziness it did. So yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. Well, they kicked you off, so you know what's up.
Yeah, I've been kicked off since October of last year, man.
Yeah, the only thing I use Facebook for is for promos for my show. That's it. Like, I have no interest in being on Facebook whatsoever. It's awful.
I did start a new one recently, and they haven't kicked me off yet, so we'll see what happens. But I started. This is like my fourth one that I've started since they booted me, and they've booted me every single time within like a matter of hours since I've come back. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know, but I would like to be on there because my family is all on Facebook. That was, originally Facebook for me was like, oh, I can talk to my family all over the country here. And now I can do that on Twitter because none of my family can handle Twitter, dude.
No.
It's a war.
Yeah. I had an alt on Facebook, so I'd already kind of given up the family thing. And it was weirdly kind of freeing to be able to be like, no, I don't have to argue with my second cousin about some silly nonsense. I can just shit post like crazy. But then Facebook did its thing, and now it's just awful. So sure. I suggest everyone just stay off that platform in general. But if you want to use it, go check out the Liberty Movement. It's good stuff. A lot of people still on there. So yeah, I mean,
well, speaking of big tech, let's talk about the cathedral. This is something that you and I discussed on your show about 2 months ago or 3 months ago or something. When you had me on your show, we wanted to talk about the cathedral. It's been something that I've talked about a lot, and I have added big tech to it. When Curtis Yarvin first wrote about the cathedral, it was the unholy union of the or the holy trinity, unholy trinity of corporate news media, academia, and the government. But I have, when I talk about it, I always add big tech because it's really these this fascistic union of entities that are trying to push a narrative by tethering themselves to the federal government. You still hating the Antichrist or what, bud?
Oh yeah, fuck the Antichrist. I was just thinking about, wasn't it in Anatomy of State, Rothbard made some case for how the academics are kind of like the priest caste in a sense.
Sure, yeah.
And like, I was just ringing a bell, and it's kind of like I was just thinking about it. You're saying like that priest caste that kind of works perfectly with the cathedral, and like I get like conventionally Rothbard's stance was it was just the academics, but in a weird kind of way, the current form of what we see the cathedral is almost like extensions of that in some sort of way. Like they're almost a similar apparatus. It's almost like it's expanded in different ways. But yeah, no, I definitely fuck the Antichrist. But I don't know. That was a thought I had. I was reminded thinking that Rothbard while you were saying that, because I kind of like the cathedral to be not so strictly defined.
Sure.
Because I know like that was the thing. A lot of people were like, well, Yarvin didn't say that. And I'm like, oh, okay, like.
Yeah, I always get shit for that because he's like, well, he didn't say big tech. I'm like, I don't give a shit what he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, big tech is a part of the cathedral.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that works entirely with the concept. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I wish I'd maybe thought a different way to explain it. Like, if anything, it's kind of like the same concept I was getting at with Rothbard and the academics. They're almost more like the simps for the state, if you will, kind of deal. Like, I don't know how to put it any more eloquently than that.
Why do you think people call the cathedral anti-Semitic when wouldn't it be called temple if it was anti-Semitic?
I mean, that would be more accurate if they did call it temple. So
you would think so, right? I mean, look, you guys you're telling me that this is anti-Semitic, but we're calling it the cathedral. I mean, isn't that like anti-Catholic?
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I mean, maybe they avoided it on purpose. I mean, I like to joke around about the Jew thing just because it is like there are so many in the upper echelons.
Oh, sure.
But then again, all the good ones are too. So you got like Rothbard, Mises.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of the greatest philosophers of our time were Jews. Here's what it is. Jews are very smart when it comes to finances and philosophy and a whole bunch of shit. So they get, media, and so they get themselves in these positions, and then we kind of look at the bad ones, and then some people are like, oh, all of them are bad, and then if you look at the other side, you're like, oh, well, there's some really cool Jews too. Oh shit, what am I gonna do?
Are we doing this bell curve talk? Is that what we're doing now?
No, we're not doing the bell curve talk on my show. Fuck. Who's shit? I got Jeremy Kaufman coming on Wednesday too. No bell curve, bud. No bell curve.
It's funny though. Like people get all upset about the bell curve talk. Not to go deep into it, but it's just funny that like the people at the top of the bell curve are like Asians and Jews. So it's like, but people always try to equate it to some sort of like
white supremacist.
White supremacists. Yeah. But it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, I think
like, how are they
I think that a lot of the bell curve was debunked and shown more of like socioeconomic status, and it just happened to be that in these inner city areas there happened to be more this person or this person, and that was kind of how it goes when it relates to going to school and going to college and stuff like that. And so I think a lot of that was debunked. It's not something I ever really debate. It's not something I ever really get into, because as soon as you say the bell curve, the Fakertarians have already made 13 posts about us tonight just from that last 3 minutes of talking, I'm sure. Claire Foster, thanks for the super chat. The great Claire Foster said, "Prove you have all 10 toes."
I am not that flexible.
I think she wants to see. I think she wants to see your feet, Jose. I think that's what's going on, buddy.
Claire, I'm pretty sure you have seen my feet in the group chat before. I will send it again if you'd like. Actually, I don't have it on this phone. Never mind. But
yeah,
I have very nice feet.
Let's see. Can we get Rogue on the Discord? I'd love to get Rogue in the Discord chat. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think that if you're a member of this YouTube channel, if you're a member, message me on Twitter or something, and I'll get you into the Discord so that we can make sure you're part of the financial. That's a perk you guys should have as well. You will get the after hours live, which is cool. It should be good enough, but we should put you in the Discord with all the other supporters. There's really cool people in there. I think we got like almost 70 people in the Discord now, so pretty cool, man. What's coming up next for Jose Galison and No Way Jose, man? What do you got going on?
I'm kind of slacking right now. I actually am. I don't really have anything. I have one that's going to be released probably tomorrow with Jack Lloyd, just about comics, just a quick one. I've been kind of slacking lately because, I just got out. I have a bunch of other stuff going on. My side hustle right now, we didn't talk about, I don't know if you know, but I breed hairless cats, Sphinx. So that's my
Sphincters, huh?
Yep. Yep. So I sell those completely on the up and up. I report all the income. Just saying.
Sure.
But yeah, I do that. So we have a ton of kittens right now. So between that, like obviously now I'm off work, it's weird. Like, being a family guy, it's like, if anything, it's more relaxing being at work.
Sometimes for sure.
when I'm home, they're like, honey, I have chores for you. Dad, come hang out. Let's go do this.
Try having 8 dependents, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. I feel you.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I said the 2. I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. So
that's
yeah.
We have 2 that are pretty close to that. We have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Yeah, both girls for me.
One's a boy, one's a girl. Then we have a 3-year-old. We have lots of girls. There's 6 girls and 3 boys here in the whole house.
Girls are a blast. They love their dad, but I don't know.
Yeah, daddy's girls are cool. I wish my 16-year-old was a little more of a daddy's girl, but I'll survive. We'll be all right. We'll get through.
Yeah, I've been slacking. That was my whole point. I've been slacking big time. I'll get back into it. I just with all the big transition in my life, I just have a lot going on. So I'm still making content. Just I'm not as on the ball as normally, but I'll get back to it soon.
Sure.
Yeah. So nothing too big on the horizon.
Well, where can all these wonderful people follow you at, sir?
No Way Jose on YouTube. Also, just about every audio podcast are at. If you want to give me money, that's always cool. You can patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. If you want to have Twitter fun with me, I am at Galison Jose, or you can just type Jose Galison in there and you'll find me. I have a lot of fun on there. Yeah.
Sick, man. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on. Listen, guys, when we're done with this feed here in a couple minutes, for members of the channel, you can join underneath any YouTube video on my channel. You can hit the join button, and you can come and watch extra content with me and Jose tonight, and then with Maj Toure tomorrow, and Jeremy Kaufman on Wednesday. I'm always going to try to do 10 to 20 more extra minutes for people who financially support the show. So you can join the channel, watch it live, or you can go over to patreon.com/. Break the Cycle JS or subscribestar.com/Break the Cycle JS. In fact, I need 3 more subscribe stars to be able to get payouts there. So if you guys could join there, I'd really appreciate it. You can go over there, and then I'll upload the videos from the night before there so you guys can see the extra exclusive content. But that is going to be a new thing on Break the Cycle for as many shows as I can do it, as long as guests can stick around for an extra 10 to 20 minutes. So we will be going there. But until then, guys, go check out Jose Galison. Check out his podcast. He's great. He has wonderful people on. I know I've been on. Shane's been on. There's been really wonderful people there. He's been on a ton of other great podcasts like mine and Drew from the Clean Libertarian. Sir, I appreciate everything you're doing. I will see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. I really mean it.
Absolutely, brother. All right, guys, another awesome episode of Break the Cycle. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Make sure that you join this channel if you want to watch the After Hours live. You can do it under any of the YouTube videos, and then look for the members-only link that's going to come up here in about 12 minutes at 8:30. Check out our sponsors at Lorenzotti.coffee Lorenzotti.coffee for all your delicious Italian coffee needs delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home. You can use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. Of course, my man, my homie, my friend, my partner on the show, toplobster.com. Check out his website. Use BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. You can get this awesome The Tree of Liberty Must Be Watered shirt that I'm wearing today, or this great custom BTC Break the Cycle pillow that has our great custom badges that you get when you become a member of the show here on the channel. Check out our executive producers, anthemplanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Find out what they can do today for your business. They are amazing. Guys, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/BreakTheCycleJS. Same for the Subscribe Star, or join the membership here on the channel. Help support Break the Cycle and my 7,000 kids. Eventually, I'd like to make this my only job. I'm going to get there. I think we're going to get there because we're doing 5 shows a week now. Monday through Friday. In fact, tomorrow we're going to have Maj Toure on. I'm very excited to sit down and speak with Maj. I'm even more excited to do some extra exclusive content with him because we are going to talk shit about Nick Sarwark. I'm sure of it. So you guys are definitely going to want to sign up and check out that exclusive content. And then Wednesday, the most controversial man on the internet, Jeremy Kaufman, creator of Odyssey and Library, a big part of the Pork Fest. This guy's wild. He was the man behind the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire tweets. So you know we're going to have fun. I will see most of you tomorrow for the show with Maj Toure. Hopefully some of you will sign up and come hang out with me and Jose while we talk about nerd shit. Until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Well, Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean,